This is an extremely brief handheld overview of the 2023 Benelli M2. As you can see, it comes in a cardboard box. The old M2s came in a plastic case, so they're trying to save a couple pesos right there. As far as the gun itself, the safety is round and extremely generous compared to most inertia guns, particularly, the Rite has an incredibly dinky little pin safety. So does the Weatherby Element, for that matter. So it's a nice, round, generous safety. That's a good thing at the rear of the trigger guard. The bolt is not the ethos bolt that Benelli originally claimed. So the Benelli click is still there if you try hard enough. Normal hunting, you won't have a problem. If you ease the bolt closed, as you might do during turkey hunting, yep, that could be a problem. But for most folks, not a big issue. The Comfort Tech stock is gone. We have just a plain black plastic stock. Pretty firm though, and the recoil pad is very good. The trigger's been improved. It's down to 5 pounds or less, between 4 and 5 pounds on my trigger gauge. So that is definitely an improvement compared to my old M2, which needed trigger work. The loading is easier. So you've heard of the Benelli thumb. You can still find the Benelli thumb on the Franchi Affinity. Very stiff loading, but they've got a two-piece shell carrier that makes loading very, very easy. That's a definite improvement. So the trigger and the safety and the easy loading, I would call all of those improvements. There is no center bead, which is a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Same step rib as those with M2s are familiar with, which I like. As far as what comes in the box, you do get a few shims, and there are 3 chokes. Improved cylinder, modified in full. So it's not the 5 choke set included previously, it's just the 3 chokes. Street price, about $1,200. Maybe a little less, depends on your dealer. So that does make it substantially less than, say, Browning A5s. Several other guns, including the Benelli Ethos or the Benelli Super Black Eagle 3. As far as patterning, it prints roughly a 60-40 pattern. So you can anticipate, at least based on this example, about 3 inches high at 40 yards. Maybe slightly less. So it's roughly 60-40, which is just fine for hunting, which is far, far better than some of the Super Black Eagle 3s and Ethos models that print 100% high. So that is the basics. The main thing that some will consider a downgrade is the lack of the Comfort Tech stock. Now the Comfort Tech stock, Benelli had claimed up to 48% recoil reduction. And of course, as you can imagine, that's a bunch of nonsense. However, I think it does help somewhat, and it's more noticeable to my shoulder with heavy loads. If I pheasant hunt, I often use 1 1/4 ounce, 1 5/16 lead number 5s. So with heavy loads, it's more noticeable than with target loads. Still a lightweight gun, a little bit over 6 pounds, so it's a long ways from being a clays gun, a dedicated clays gun. Although backyard clays, you should have no problem, nor on the dove field. So that's the highlights. All in all, really a pretty good deal, because a Benelli for $1,200 that really has no particular issues in 2023. Yeah, I call that a good value, and you can certainly spend $2,000 or more for an inertia gun depending on the brand and the configuration. So that's it.